it can be very sickly, to the point where it might feel very, very unwearable. Oh god, that's going everywhere. She was going on a date. I hope it went well. And hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm featuring something that might be a bit interesting to a few of you. So I'm actually featuring bottles that I've rebought over the years. So some I've bought like 2 or 3 different bottles, just constantly replacing them. And in the meantime, I also asked you guys what you'd like to see content wise from me, because sometimes it is really difficult for me to judge what type of content or what style of videos you really enjoy. Like in my mind I was like, oh, maybe everyone will prefer more vlog style videos, you know, getting to know me. When I actually did the poll, I think it was 40% of you voted discovery of new brands, new fragrances, so I thought that was really interesting. I'll still do a combination of all different style of videos, but coming up in next weekend I have something so exciting. I'm actually doing a fragrance masterclass with a new brand that I've never done before, and it's in central London, which will be really exciting. I'm actually going on Monday, and to be honest with you, I tend not to go to like these events and stuff like that. One, because I don't get invited very often, and 2, because I do work a lot of hours during the week, and sometimes being able to squeeze that in is a little bit difficult. But in the meantime, let's run through these repurchases that I've bought over the years. So the first fragrance that I have is not a secret to any of you. You know how much I absolutely adore this fragrance, and I find it a massive compliment that a lot of you have bought it based on my recommendation as well. So from MFK we have a Feminin Pluriel, and I've loved this fragrance for many years, and they've oh god, that's going everywhere. They've recently somewhat reformulated it. Now I wasn't particularly aware of this until one of you guys actually commented down below, and I thought it was really interesting because I used to work somewhat in the cosmetic industry, and I tend to find like a lot of the times the ingredients, especially with IFRA regulations, they sometimes do get discontinued or they're not deemed as safe anymore. So apparently it was Pluriel, which is like the synthetic version of Lily of the Valley, that was discontinued in the new version, and even the way the bottles look like are entirely different. I'll be honest with you, I don't really smell a humongous difference between the two. Like some people were saying on Reddit that this one is a little bit more screechy than the older one. I don't really get that, to be honest with you. Like Pluriel as itself, as the synthetic version of Lily of the Valley, can be a little bit screechy anyway sometimes. I don't know whether that is true, guys. Please, you know, you can correct me in the comments down below. But I genuinely didn't find that much of a difference between the two. So it is a heavily floral based fragrance. So if you're not into florals, you will not enjoy this, but it's a mixture of iris, Lily of the Valley, jasmine, some other white florals in here as well. But overall, it's a really beautiful powdery lipsticky type of fragrance. It also has lilac, I believe, so some purplish kind of florals in here. But to me, what always made this fragrance really special was the vetiver, and the vetiver gave this like dryness to the fragrance. So it is feminine, but then also had that twist towards the end, and I've been complimented a lot ever since I've, you know, worn this fragrance. So to me, this is like a perfect signature scent. So if you are looking for something super feminine, easy wearing, for all weathers, like whether that's spring, summer, winter, whatever, that is the one for you guys. So anyway, that is Feminin Pluriel from MFK. So the next fragrance that I've rebought, and I do need to rebuy this bottle as well because it's completely run out, is Jasmin Rouge from Tom Ford. Now, Tom Ford, the original blends, like, you know, this particular line back in the day used to be absolutely mind-blowing. Now we had like Venetian Bergamot, Jasmin Rouge, Shanghai Lily, all sorts of beautiful fragrances. Since then, they've somewhat disappointed me, but this one has always been a love for me. As you guys know, I talk about Jasmin Rouge all the time, and I think it's probably one of the sexiest fragrances I've ever smelled, and that's like a really big statement coming from somebody who is like quote unquote a fragrance collector, somebody who's really into their fragrances. So Jasmin Rouge to me is a really beautiful floral concoction where it also has other notes playing in the background. So it has ginger, has some spices, has some woods in the background. But for me, the star player is the jasmine. And the jasmine in here, I think there's two types of jasmine, but mainly the jasmine sambac, which is the night blooming jasmine, and that has a lot more indole, so it can come across quite indolic. When I sometimes describe this fragrance to other people, I do say that it's almost like you've mixed honey and banana together. It has that indolic. It's not so indolic that sometimes jasmine can go a little bit like pea-like, whereas this one definitely does not go that way, thank goodness. I've tried fragrances with a lot of jasmine that can go a little bit too indolic for my liking, but this one is like a dirty honey mixed with banana, and I absolutely love it. And it's quite exotic smelling with the ginger, the spices, everything else that's going on. It's a very complex fragrance with it being a heavy floral fragrance as well. So if you've never tried it, and if you do want to smell something that's super sophisticated, very sexy and womanly, then I would definitely recommend Jasmin Rouge from Tom Ford. So the next fragrance that I have is actually a cheapie, and I've bought this a couple of times now, and it launched, I think, maybe around about 2017, 2018, if I'm not wrong. So at that time when I first smelt it, honestly guys, it blew me away for the price and how beautifully sweet this fragrance is. Like, I do like a little bit of sweetness in my fragrances. I know that might come across like immature juvenile, I don't really care. And this is mainly a pistachio, almond, marzipan-y, orange blossom. It's just beautiful, guys. And to be fair, I've actually worn this in all seasons, so whether that's winter, summer, spring, and I tend to find it does really well in all seasons. In particular, this might shock you because it is quite a heavy fragrance. The summer was really great at showcasing this, so when you have the warmth on your skin, it almost becomes a little bit more caramel-like. That's the only way that I can describe it. And you have this beautiful mix of the orange blossom, which is really vibrant, tangy, and then mixing that with like a very marzipan-y almond note. You know, marzipan is made from almonds, so it does go very much into that sickly sweet type of realm, but I don't find it offensive at all. Normally I don't like overly sweet fragrances, but this one is a little bit of an anomaly. I don't know why. And then that pistachio note, it doesn't really last too long in the fragrance, but you can definitely smell it, like this underlying nuttiness. So it's almost like you have a mixture of almond marzipan, pistachio gelato, and then like some orange blossom sprinkled on the top. It's a really gorgeous fragrance. So for anyone who is into their sweet or gourmand fragrances, I always recommend this one. So from Elie Saab, we have Girl of Now. Now moving on to a fragrance that a lot of you know already, and I've already spoken about how many times I've rebought this. I don't know whether this is my second or third bottle. I think it's my third. Yeah, it must be my third bottle, but it was on a really great discount. I think on Notino at the time it was about £110, which for this fragrance is like an absolute steal. So this is Lua from Xerjoff. I've already mentioned it before, but it was actually my friend Giselle that put me onto this fragrance, and since then I've just recommended it to so many people, and a lot of people love it as well. This is signature scent worthy, so if you are into, say, more of a mature floral fruity type of fragrance, then I think you definitely enjoy this. So it has melon, some other fruits in the top. I think you might even have some orange, but the melon here is like a cantaloupe type of melon. It's super refreshing, a little bit unusual, I find, cantaloupe melon. It's not like any other fruit I find, so it definitely has like a little bit of a uniqueness there, and then as well as that you have a really big note of iris, and I tend to find in Xerjoff fragrances they do iris super duper well. There's this other fragrance called Iris with like multiple S's at the end, and that one is a really gorgeous fragrance. You also have, oh god, there's this other fragrance from Xerjoff which is really heavy in iris, and I can't remember the name of it. You guys will know which one I mean, but that is also a beauty. They do iris very well. It goes into that powdery lipsticky type of realm, but not too mature, not too vintage. It's just the perfect balance of everything. And then on top of this iris you also have some other floral notes. You have some vanilla, some patchouli, some woods in the background, and a really nice musk. And I think the musk in here is really really beautiful because it does balance out the fragrance. It's quite a clean musk, it's not a dirty musk, so overall you have a really bright fruity opening mixed with a powdery lipsticky mid and then a slightly sweet musky base. So to me, if there was anything called a perfect fragrance, this would be it. To me, it's a 10 out of 10. So again, if you've never tried it, from the house of Xerjoff, we have Lua. So from the house of M.Micallef, M.Micallef, we have Ylang in gold. Now I have Ylang in gold nectar, and I've rebought Ylang in gold maybe about 2 or 3 times. Unfortunately, I've completely ran out of this bottle, so I will need to repurchase it at some point. But to me, this is summer in a bottle done to perfection. This is a heavy ylang vanilla fruity type of fragrance to my nose, and when I say, if you're really into your like fruity sweet, almost summer vacation style of fragrances, this is a beauty for you. Ylang can be very hard to describe. The way I describe it is, again, similar to what I was talking about with Jasmin Rouge, is almost like honey, like a manuka honey. Ylang can also come across super indolic, and it's one of those yellow florals that if it's not done right, it can be very sickly, to the point where it might feel very, very unwearable. I find with Ylang, when the actual oil is used itself, it can be a very overpowering note. Whereas in this fragrance, it's done very well. It's super well balanced, so it has lots of fruity notes. It also has other florals like rose, like some orange blossom, all types of different white florals in here as well. So you have the mixture of different florals. So you have yellow florals, white florals, and then towards the end you have the most beautiful note of vanilla. And the vanilla in here almost smells like, to me, like literal vanilla pod. You know, when you're scraping it out, it almost has like that bourbon vanilla. It's super exotic, it's really sweet, it's candied, and that just brings this fragrance to a whole nother level. So you have so many different things going on in here, and particularly in the summer, this does so well on your skin. And I used to think, I think this is the same one where you have like the gold dust in the bottle as well, like in the actual liquid. So whenever you're spraying it on your skin, say if you had like a body oil or something underneath which also has like a little bit of a golden sheen, this on top of that is just beauty. This is probably one of my most favorite fragrances of all time. I definitely need to rebuy another bottle because I love it so much, and I have really nice memories with this. I used to get complimented off this all the time, and the beauty of it is you don't have to buy the 100 ml, you can stick with the 30 ml like what I've done over the years. My camera died. What I was saying is this going into your bag is just super duper effective. Like you can go out, pop it in your bag, and then you're sorted. So I think this is honestly one of the best that you can get. So from M.Micallef, we have Ylang in gold. So the next fragrance that I have, last but certainly not least, is from Ormonde. And unfortunately, I actually don't have the bottle with me. There is a reason for it. I've actually given it to one of my work friends because she was going on a date. I hope it went well, and she absolutely loves this fragrance, guys. Like when I first brought it into the office, I could tell it was going to be her signature scent, and I gave her like a small vial just for her to use day to day or like for special occasions, and she's finally bought the bottle, and I'm so excited for her. And you know, it sounds so stupid, but it's small things like that that remind me, actually, I really love doing this stuff, because you know, when somebody finds their signature scent or when they find a fragrance that makes them really happy, that I've recommended, it makes me very happy and vice versa. So I just thought it was really lovely, and I hope that she's had a nice time. Anyway, with Damask, that's why I don't have the bottle with me. Basically, to me, it's one of the best rose fragrances, like rose fruity fragrances you can get on the market. Now, yes, Taif is my favorite from Ormonde because that is a very realistic rose, and it has a lot of other things going on as well, but Damask is super fresh and it's very unique to me. So it has a massive note of blackcurrant in the beginning, and a lot of the line from the Le Routes de la Soie collection has a big note of blackcurrant or some fruity top notes. That gives a slight tartiness to the fragrance in the top. You also have pear, you have lemon, there's all sorts of fruity notes, and that combines super well with the floral. So the main floral in here is the rose, and it's not like a super vintage rose, it's not like even a Bulgarian rose, it's more like a rose centifolia. It's super bright, light, very pink flush, almost like peony, and that is what makes it very feminine in my opinion. You also have in the base, which I find super duper interesting, like these ozonic mineralistic notes. So you can imagine like this fruity top, a very floral mid, and then mixed with this mineralistic, almost ozonic type of base, and it does project very well. My god, like I know a lot of people who've bought it and have had lots and lots of compliments as a result. And it's funny because Ormonde can be very hit and miss when it comes to the projection and the performance. Like this one does extremely well, but then others are a bit more closer to the skin, so it really depends. But Damask for me is probably one of my most complimented fragrances of all time, and I was really lucky because when I went to the Ormonde event I did get another bottle and I needed to rebuy a bottle anyway, so it just worked out very well. So that one I'll be wearing throughout the spring and summer, which I'm really excited about. So anyway, if you ladies have never tried Damask, take it from me, a lot of people have bought it based on my recommendation. I also have 10% off their website, so in case if you are curious, you can try the travel size of it, which isn't too expensive, or you can buy the full bottle. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and comment down below because it massively helps with the channel. And as I said, I will be doing a lot more newer style of videos, whether that's discovering of new brands, vlogs, etc., new releases, all sorts. So I'm hoping you guys will have a lot more exciting content soon. So I hope you have a lovely week and I'll catch you soon. Bye guys.